Hello, everyone. I'm Colin, Tessier of WrestleZone.com, joined by Robert DeFelice to talk about Friday Night SmackDown. It's still ongoing, so we're going to live react to the closing segment here as we're recording. Seth Rollins is in the ring. But Robert, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Colin. It's Friday night. We are sitting here watching Seth Rollins in the ring. He's calling out Edge. These two guys are great on the mic. They're great in the ring. Let's quickly, as we wait for this, talk about the abomination of the women's tournament. How about that?
I think I saw a couple of tweets that basically both first-round matches in the Queen's Crown tournament tonight got, what was it, less than 5 minutes across two matches?
One was like a little bit more than 1 minute. One was a little bit more than 2 minutes. It's been said that Roman Reigns' entrance took longer than these matches.
Correct. I saw that going around as well. I'm assuming that is true because he alone gets like 10 minutes to walk to the ring, another couple minutes for a video package, another couple minutes for a promo. Hey, I love Roman as much as the next guy, but my gosh, that is not a good look. Also not a good look, I would say. The decisions themselves for these matches were, shall I say, interesting. Liv Morgan lost in the first round. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I have been saying I think the winner of this match would take the whole tournament. I do think it will be Carmella going to the finals. I think she will defeat Doudrop, and I think she'll be the first Queen of the Ring, like she was the first Money in the Bank.
I mean, man.
I mean, look, the Liv Morgan thing sucks. She should get it, but they didn't do that, so it is what it is. John Kirby asking why we're on, because we're going to live react to the main event. We're trying a new format. We're trying a new SmackDown format.
We like to keep things live here, keep things dynamic, and try to find things that work best. And we figure we'd try this out. If it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. But if we figure it'd be beneficial to go live with the show here, we're reacting. Rollins calling out Edge right now, hoping to get a match.
We go. Edge has arrived in a truck. It was a nondescript truck, but he has arrived.
That's funny because he referenced FTR last week, and trucks are their thing. So and they cut that.
They're all North Carolinians now, and trucks are a North Carolinian thing apparently.
I guess. Assuming we do get a match here, I don't know when they would do it. I mean, I can't say I'm doing it at Crown Jewel. I mean, I could, but I'm not quite sure like what exactly the future holds there. My stream is a little behind. I actually paused the feed to capture the brackets for the tournaments here, so pardon me if my feed is a little behind here.
Yes, John Kirby, we're always going to be a little bit behind because we watch when you're watching through like a Sling TV or something like that. It's usually
that's what I am. Yeah,
a little bit behind. Yeah, so there you go. Rollins is currently getting the crap beat out of him by Edge. Pat McAfee just went running. Rollins is just getting his ass kicked. He took off his blazer. Edge is currently trying to choke him out. I thought choking was against the rules, but not when Edge is around because Edge doesn't play by the rules.
The rules do not apply to Edge. So
the rules they don't. It's our rest friend in the chat, Iridian Fierro. Hello, Iridian. How are you doing?
Always appreciate Iridian's support here. So I mean, definitely a lot of stuff to talk about here as we watch Edge just beat the living stuffing out of Rollins.
Yeah, he's gonna hit him with the Glasgow grin with the crossface with the pipe. Oh wait, no. Well, Rollins has fought out of it. Rollins is running away like a little bitch, and there you go. Rollins is escaping.
Gotta leave him one more, Robert. So, like I said, gotta imagine that we'll see this match again at some point soon. I don't really see Crown Jewel as the destination. I would,
Adam, Edge is grabbing a mic. Edge just challenged Rollins to Hell in a Cell, and I'm really excited. That's fucking okay. All right, that's really good. I like that. That's the kind of thing I want to see. Edge hasn't had a Hell in a Cell match since 2008 with The Undertaker. Rollins, I think, only did the two with Ambrose and
The Fiend, of course.
Oh yeah, I blocked that out of my mind. That's a PTSD reaction mine is to block it out of my mind. But yes, that's really good. I want to see that. I hope it doesn't go to Saudi.
He didn't say when. He just like challenged him
He just said,
generally.
you, me,
All
Hell
right.
in a Cell.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to like predict because we haven't seen Edge hasn't been wrestling mostly during the time they've been doing the Saudi Arabia shows, so it's not like you can really classify him as like.
I don't want to see these two great men go to Saudi Arabia. Okay, I want to see them wrestle somewhere where like they can get the genuine reactions, you know, like I that's what I want to see. But yes,
But
that's the end of the show. I like it. I like seeing Rollins Edge Hell in a Cell. I dig that. But let's get back to this women's tournament because it was booked like garbage, Colin. Booked like garbage.
it was trash, straight trash. Man, just because now we have a semifinal of Carmella versus Lena Vega, and again, I don't mean to be negative. I'm sorry, just I am. Sometimes, man, this company.
You haven't even started talking yet, and you're already apologizing. Look at how wholesome he is, everybody.
Because I get called out for being negative, and like I try to be positive. Then you got something like this. You got Liv Morgan losing when time and time again the crowd makes it clear that they're behind her, they're rooting for her, and then you get this where she loses this first round match. And I at least thought that she would be a good, if not a favorite, just a good pick to win the tournament. And then she loses like this. And again, it's not even like it was like this nice competitive match that got time. Less than 3 minutes, so just that's not a good look. Then you got Toni Storm being called the wild child of the 80s, citing Bruce Springsteen and Madonna in a promo. Like, what is going on here? What are we doing?
I am a guy who listens to a lot of 80s music. Do I randomly listen to Take On Me while working? Absolutely. Do I listen to, a little bit of Billie Jean? Sure. Do I listen to a whole lot of hair metal? A lot of Poison? Of course. Would I go around branding myself as the wild child of the 80s? No, I think my friends would laugh at me if I did that because it's 2021 and that is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous notion. It's so bad what they're doing with the women.
It's bad.
This is like, all right, look, I know everybody loves the Divas division and they were slighted and they're iconic and yada yada, but like this is Divas era bad WWE booking of women. We've always said the Divas era wasn't bad, the booking was bad, and this booking is so bad. It's so bad, and I don't like it.
And I don't think it's going to get better on Raw. The other two first round matches on Raw are Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler, which we saw just past week, and Shayna just squashed Dana Brooke. So A, that doesn't make sense. B, you're just setting up another presumably, same thing, and that's what Raw does, and that's what Raw is going to do. But we don't have to like it. That's not good booking. Like, and to me, I think a lot of people were looking forward to a nice kind of sizable tournament where it's like you could have 16 competitors per tournament. Then you have several matches over the next couple of weeks that actually matter. That makes the Raw and SmackDown feel more important. Instead, eight participants right in each side, two matches on SmackDown, 2 matches on Raw, and all of a sudden that's especially with what we saw tonight, 10 minutes out of the show for the women's division. And I mean, granted, the men's matches were better. I actually like that. We could talk about that, but I will say, at this point, for me, Robbie, you were mentioning a Doudrop. Maybe you've mentioned Carmella as well.
Carmella Doudrop in the finals. That's what's happening.
I am with our friend Iridian and Eddie Zahari here. Iridian saying Queen of Spades, Queen of the Ring, Queen of my heart. It's all going to add up. And Eddie Zahari is saying it will be Shayna.
No, Iridian. She's the Queen of Spades. She's not the Queen of Hearts. That's
the Natty thing.
That's Natty. If Natty gets by Shayna, that's what we can do. But look, I think that it'll be Carmella. Carmella just has a knack for these roles. I just feel like it's something the company would give her. I don't think Baszler needs this.
I think she does. I think she does. Come on.
Baszler is legitimate. Baszler is a badass. Baszler doesn't need a phony baloney title of the Queen of the Ring. Baszler's a badass.
She has a more important title. She's the Queen of Iridian's heart, Robert. Come on.
I know. That is one of the most important titles I could ever imagine. So kudos to her for that.
No, man. She needs this. All right. Her booking on Raw up until the last 3 weeks has been awful. And now she will be moving to SmackDown, thankfully getting away from Raw. So here on the SmackDown show, I can say I'm very glad about that. But I think she needs this. And I mean, I think at this point, especially now that Liv Morgan's out, more than anybody, I think she's who I want to see win it. And I kind of like to exactly what you were saying. I don't think Carmella needs it for that reason. Though she's won Money in the Bank. She's done other things. And if you give it to Shayna Baszler, at least that's kind of, to me, the whole point of this is to kind of establish somebody new, or in Shayna's case, kind of reestablish somebody. And I think this would be very, very good for her. And again, looking at the other options here, for me at least, Doudrop, Carmella, it's not going to be Dana Brooke. I'm sorry. I thought Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega is my number 3. I think it's Morgan. It's Carmella, Baszler, or Zelina Vega would be number 3.
My problem with this tournament right now is that A, Liv Morgan lost, but B, Zelina Vega cut a good promo before her match and before she beat Liv Morgan there, and she said, she had this good promo about being the queen. I'm like, I think she's great. I think she's very, very talented, but she's been booked so badly, like worse than Shayna Baszler. At least Shayna's got this little hot streak going.
Hey, they could beat Liv Morgan.
All right, but like on the whole, that was her one and only win since
since
she got released last year. Like
they booked her horribly. They book everybody horribly. I don't know why they're doing it. Why would you establish a women's tournament and then shit the bed? Pardon my French.
They have.
They're shitting the bed is what they're doing.
It's bad. It's very disappointing as a fan. I can't speak for any of the competitors, but I'm sure they were hoping. Hey, they announced this tournament, like, all right, yeah, cool. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna have these good matches and it's gonna be a fun time. And and you get this, less than 10 minutes total across 2 matches. And again, I don't think it's any better.
It was less than 5 minutes across 2 matches.
Yeah, I was trying to be overly optimistic there, but
I mean, it's pretty bad. But I did tweet out that I do believe the AEW TBS champion will one day be asking who's Yo Daddy-O. That is, of course, Liv Morgan's real name. I think Liv Morgan, as soon as she can, is out. And I would not blame her. I would not blame her one bit. Because, my God, awful booking, awful. She deserves so much more.
She really does. Speaking of somebody that may very well be on the way out the door, especially based on what we've been seeing lately, Kevin Owens is very much getting the out the door treatment at this point. He's been just kind of like put through the ringer, just like we saw John Moxley or Dean Ambrose back in the day, just like with Rusev, now Miro. I mean, this guy's getting beat down by Madcap Moss, of all people.
Hey, I like Riddick Moss. All right, I think he's got a look. I don't think he needs to be beating up Kevin Owens.
And laughing while doing so. Like, it's just... I don't know, man. And, again, we can never really, really speculate on what performers are thinking and what they're going to do, but it's hard to say, this doesn't feel like is what's happening. Just basically, I feel like the company kind of knows, hey, this guy might be leaving. And right, Robert, it's October right now. This man's contract is not up until reportedly January 31st. So what are we doing?
You got 3 months. It doesn't matter because he doesn't need to win King of the Ring. He could go win the Owen. He could go win whatever he wants. It doesn't matter. Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen, do whatever he wants. I think it's pretty much a guarantee that he's gone. And he should be because, again, another one, they've crapped the bed, and it's awful.
It's bad. It's bad. And it's a shame. Even as, it was recent as last week, I was saying, okay, we know about his contract situation, but maybe he could, get drafted. He got drafted at all. We know that much. And
that sucks. I like seeing him. I'm sad that I won't be talking to you about Kevin Owens anymore.
Agreed. But I thought going to Raw, at least then, classic, fresh coat of paint, give him even a mini run out the door here, even if it's October now, so call it till maybe even just December to something. And now he's just getting beat up by Madcap Moss, and we know the draft changes won't take effect until October 22nd. So
That's so nice of them to wait to be taken into effect.
So nice. You say it's nice. I say it's nonsensical. My gosh, what are we doing, Robert?
That's the most sense they've made in 3 years with the draft. Okay, wait, let's give ourselves 3 weeks to make sense out of the mess we're creating, and then we'll be able to start fresh because they have created a mess. And what can you do?
But this episode of SmackDown was the season premiere. Next, I think Raw is the same. Will be the season premiere. So we're having season premieres. I think they messed up on commentary. They said that Morgan and Kamala were moving to Raw. I think actually, I think they are right. I think they both got drafted. That was different matches. But point being, they both getting drafted to Raw. But they're here in supposedly feature matches on SmackDown on the season premiere, which you would want to like kind of showcase. People that are going to be on the show when 2 weeks from now, they're not going to be on the show. Like, that part doesn't make sense to me. And then John and I talked about it on the Raw show. You've got a card full of matches where right now the SmackDown Women's title match, 2 of those competitors going over to Raw. Becky Lynch holds the SmackDown Women's title. She's going to Raw. So a lot of stuff not making a whole lot of sense here. Something else didn't make a whole lot of sense. Casually announcing that Sonya Deville will be returning to the ring next week. John Kirby asked what we think about that match and also why Naomi's not getting what she deserves. I mean, at the very least, she's getting the storyline, so that's good.
I saw a lot of people, why isn't Naomi in Queen of the Ring? Because the gimmick is she can't get booked. You don't put her in the Queen of the Ring. You let her get, screwed out of a match with Sonya, and then she gets mad and she joins the Bloodline. The end game needs to be Naomi joins the Bloodline, and then you have Naomi get the belt by Survivor Series, so that way it's Naomi Bianca at Survivor Series with Usos Profits, and you kind of finish that off without ever having finished it off on SmackDown.
I like it. I could see that. I don't know. It feels like sometimes, in a way, like they're going a little too far with this. You got Sonya Deville out there saying that not only does Naomi not deserve a spot in the bracket, she doesn't deserve a spot on the SmackDown Women's roster. This is a former SmackDown Women's champion. Like, I know that's the gimmick, and I get it, but man, they're just like kind of running her through the dirt in the process of trying to establish a story. It's like it's a gray area.
Second longest tenured female on the roster.
Yep.
Right behind Natty. Yeah, it's crazy that she's been on our television screens for 11 years. She should have done more. What she has done has been great, but I think there's more in store for Naomi very soon.
I hope so. And Sonya Deville, on the other hand, will be returning to the ring next week. That'll be her first match in SummerSlam 2020 when she lost to Mandy Rose. So, I think that's a good addition, without even thinking about the draft or thinking about, NXT call-ups. She's just having someone kind of come back to the ring like that. I think that'll be good. I thought her run there with Mandy Rose in that feud was very, very good. And I think she could add a lot, even if it's as this like part-time thing where she's still an official. I think just having her back in a role where she at least can wrestle will be beneficial for other storylines, for whatever does happen with this Naomi thing. I think it's all around a good thing.
I think so. I think Sonya's great. She's been great for a long time. I hope that she gets to kind of shine again in the division. But I don't know. I think it's very weird that they're regressing with the women, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing across the board.
Agreed. I mean, you were saying that months ago, and I tried saying like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I was calling it the Divas division months ago. Let's talk about it. Because I could see it coming from a mile away. Not because I want to be like negative. It's just look at where they're going. It's a shame, really. But there's always tomorrow for the women's division. Speaking of the women's division, we signed some contracts for Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel. I'm surprised the Prince didn't need to be in attendance for this. I guess, travel's a little difficult right now. But yes, we did send the contract for Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. Colin, what did you think of the segment?
Well, they didn't sign it first. It was as usual a shenanigans full. Yes, a shenanigans full wrestling contract signing. Bianca Belair. This is the Bianca Belair that we've been saying we want for weeks. at least a little bit. She looked fired up. She looked mad. She slammed Becky through Sasha Banks through a table. That was good. She lifted them both at the same time. It was a pretty cool spot. Becky Lynch has a new like on-screen animation thing as they've been doing with these characters, and it's horrifying to look at.
I believe you called it Nightmare Fuel. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not as bad as the Roman Reigns one, which they've slightly improved on week over week.
It's pretty bad.
But yeah, it's obnoxious. I didn't want this side of Becky. We wanted the man. Like this is what Rollins is doing. And I'm not saying that because they're dating. It's what Rollins is doing.
They're similar, very similar. Yeah.
But in a female body. And it's like, I don't need that from Becky. Hell, I didn't even need it from Rollins.
Nope.
But like, it is what it is. Becky, we won't be talking about her very much longer. She's a Raw superstar. We won't be talking about Bianca much longer, Colin. She's also a Raw superstar.
This show got shafted in the draft. They're trying to build up like, they got all these talented people. Like they got shafted, and I will not hear otherwise.
The big old shaft. I will say this: kudos to the SmackDown GM for being smart enough to go, hey, I want Roman and I want Charlotte, and I'll sleep for the rest of the damn thing because I got the two hottest stars in the company. I guess that's how. Kudos to Fox. Fox knows how to make a good business decision.
Yeah, at least they got the top level, is protected, and you bring in Charlotte Flair, or should say you bring Charlotte Flair back to SmackDown. It's a good pick, but yeah, you're losing Becky Lynch, you're losing Bianca Belair. Ed Zahari pointing out they did announce Becky Lynch will face Sasha Banks next week. That's a big match for a show that will be on FS1. So they're trying to kind of maybe stave away some of the drop in viewership there.
Supersized it, Colin. They have supersized SmackDown. Brock Lesnar will be there. Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, the King of the Ring semifinal will be there. Was it Zelina and Carmella in the King of the Ring semifinal?
Yep. Yeah,
that's an interesting one. I do believe the winner of that one wins the whole kit and caboodle. And then you've got the King of the Ring, which I'm sure will continue on Raw, as Kofi Kingston will face Jinder Mahal in one, and Xavier Woods. He gets it. He gets in there, and he's facing Ricochet. Now, I am of the full belief that Xavier wins against Ricochet. I think
100%.
Kofi tries to lay down for him, and he says, I don't want it that way. And they have a great match in the semifinals, and he gets by Kofi. And then I think Finn Balor kills everyone's dreams as he becomes the Demon King of the Ring, Finn Balor.
All right. I like it. I would
I would rather have Cesaro had killed everyone's dreams, but they decided to kill my dream by having Finn Balor beat Cesaro. What can you do?
I agree. Michael Covington saying that he's thinking Zayn wins the whole thing. So he likes heel kings.
Zayn was dancing around with that cape and that crown. I thought, they like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Woods deserves it. Like, if you were ever just gonna put it on somebody for the sheer goodwill, Woods.
That's what I've been saying. Give it to Woods, and give him what he wants. Give the people what they want. Hermit Carson here hopes that Finn Balor wins. I will say tonight we saw the brackets finally, and they had Finn Balor versus Cesaro, and for me, that's a match that on paper I would really, really like, and I did. It was a good match. Like, both guys are great, but they really kind of neutered Finn Balor or the Demon at Extreme Rules, so that really took off steam out of this one. And also Cesaro's been kind of really on this cold streak ever since his kind of brief run in the sun ended in his feud with Rollins a couple months ago. So that was a little bittersweet there, where it was a good match, two of my favorite guys, but just again, kind of like what we're saying with some of the women's matches here tonight, definitely not a great look in that sense. But kind of Finn did win, so Herman saying he wants him to win. Ed Zahari saying he wants, or he's predicting Finn Balor to be in the finals. Same thing, he can't go to Saudi Arabia. That's a good point. There
it is. I guess Sami Zayn won't be winning next week, will he?
What's is interesting is if you kind of know that, why would you have him win the match?
I would have had Finn Balor go. I would have had Bray go over.
Oh, this show, man, this show. We did see Sami Zayn defeat Rey Mysterio, another good match. With Rey and Dominic having some daddy-son issues here, with Dominic coming to the ring and inadvertently costing Rey the match. So kind of continuing to build that up. Sami playing the scenes before the match, directly telling Dominic, hey, I think you're better than your father. So, I'm not quite sure what the end goal or the end game there is, but it's interesting, kind of liking where it's going to see, just this familial conflict kind of continue to escalate here.
Yeah, I want to see the end game for this one soon, because I don't want to see hey dad, I can do it myself. Stop it, dad. I wanted to get to the ending.
Yeah.
And whatever happens will be good. But I think Dominic needs a mask. Not that he's not a very, very handsome young man. If you listen to Michael Cole on commentary week, he's like 9 years old still. But hey, look, Dominic is great. He just needs to find himself a little bit more.
Well, maybe he'll find himself on Monday Night Raw, because that's where he and Rey are going in the draft. So yet again, two more guys that we're not going to be talking about much longer here on this show.
God, Colin, what have they done to it? Hey, at least we got Shanky.
We had Mace, just to throw it in there, we had Mace cut a promo tonight. Mace, also formerly known as Dio Madden, and it was like, and he showed up, had the face paint, had the name. I'm like, all right, doesn't bode well for T-Bar.
He's gonna be he gonna be the only one. It's gonna be Dijak, Mia Yim, Shane Thorne, Kangaroo Jack, Shane Thorne, and Mace.
Unbelievable.
Look, I have a theory. Mace is a fan of the LARPing, of the live action role play. I think King Woods and Mace as one of his knights is a hell of an idea. Will they have the balls to pull it off? I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody clip that for me. I want to tweet that. But
I don't see a sustainable long-term future for the Mace character, or T-Bar, really, as we saw any of the Retribution characters here. But Mace, as you said, at least it's fair to predict they will be the last one standing, because I think I think they should at least change T-Bar's name, or T-Bar's name back and give him a chance. But Mace still wrong with that. But someone who does have a sustainable long-term future here, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. They made us wait 50 minutes for this man. They made us wait 50 minutes to acknowledge our tribal chief. And he finally came out. His entrance was longer than both women's matches, and that is not good. But Roman's promo was good, and Paul Heyman's promo was even better, because Roman basically said, "Wise man, be wise. Admit what you did. You were responsible for Brock Lesnar's free agency." Heyman, he didn't say no. Heyman never said no, but he did kind of pull the strings and say, "Why would I try to screw you over and side with Brock? Like, that wouldn't be the logical thing to do."
They need to do my idea before people forget that John Cena was at SummerSlam, and just do, hey, I called Brock as a backup plan in case you couldn't beat John. I think that's a great. Maybe they could post some footage, right, or play a voice recording or something.
Yeah,
that'd be so good.
I like it. It makes sense. I like things that make sense. But a good promo. Heyman literally got on his knees, gave the title to Reigns. He seemed satisfied, but the commentary team said, "Are you convinced? Do you think Reigns is convinced?" Still kind of studying that mystery. Still not quite sure exactly what's going to happen here, but we do know they will face off a crown jewel, not next Thursday, but one after that. So we do know, as you said a minute ago, Robert, Lesnar will be on SmackDown here next week. So interesting to see what's going to happen there. DJ asking, what's up with the babyface hops Roman? The people love to acknowledge
because Roman is a fun character now. Yeah, they want.
And he's good now.
Heels are fun. I agree. Look, I agree that cool heels are an oxymoron and all that, but he's fun to watch. Yeah.
I mean, and again, I think for me at least, if I went to a show, I'd cheer him. Like, he's become one of my favorite characters across all of WWE and wrestling itself. He's good. He's great in the role. He's doing great. He's really hit his stride, and he's pointing out when fans want heels for so long. I mean, that's exactly it. People kind of probably knew that he could do something like this. That this is kind of what he was kind of not like what he was meant to do. I'm sure he could be a great babyface again, but having this where they're not forcing him down your throat as this John Cena like babyface, but having him kind of as this top heel, and as we've been talking about for months, doing all these great things. People are liking it. People want to show that they like that, and they like, and as you said, Robert, as well. It's just a fun character, and he's rolling with it, and it's a good time. So and at this point, it's 2021. People are going to cheer heels and boo baby faces. Like, things are crazy in wrestling. So that's
real
not
quick,
surprising.
I think Roman would have been the top merchandise guy even with Bray Wyatt. But yeah, Bray Wyatt being gone leaves that wide open for Roman Reigns to just have all that, because they don't got the New Day. Because what is the New Day? Because we put Big E on the wrong show. Because we just don't know how to properly let people have friends. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're not allowed to have friends. Like, how dare you? How dare you have a thriving social life outside of this industry?
It's wrong. It's oh man, the draft, some things we saw tonight, not great, unfortunately. I saw one of my colleagues here, Matt Black of WrestleZone, tweeted that a couple months ago, SmackDown was the #1 show, pretty undisputedly, and now, again, some of these draft decisions that haven't taken effect yet, but kind of with that in mind, that the New Day will be split up again, and then again with the 5 minutes for the women's matches, some of these other things, beyond questionable, I would say they're baffling. It's just like, my gosh. But on the flip side, I will say, with the New Day being split up, one thing that's interesting is the likelihood that we will see Kofi and Xavier in the second round. So to me, that could very well be kind of a highlight of the tournament, kind of seeing how that unfolds. Robert, you mentioned a couple minutes ago, maybe Kofi lies down for him, or who even knows, what may happen there. But I think that it'll be very interesting. I think probably one of the, again, highlights of the tournament where, Xavier has made it abundantly clear that he wants and needs to win it. Kofi probably would want to help him, but at the same time, Kofi's a valid competitor. I'm sure he wants to win it in his own right. So it'll be interesting, and I'm looking forward to that. So overall, here, can I say a good show? I don't know.
I will not say. I will not say good show. I am an honest man. I think that the Queen's Crown tournament booking sucks. I think that's garbage. You had an opportunity to do something great with the women, and you have ruined that from the get-go. So congratulations. That sucked. Roman Reigns is great, but at this point, even his act needs a little bit of a boost or some freshening up, because I'm going to Undertaker walk to the ring and cut a promo about how you should acknowledge me is running thin. It's got a shelf life. I am excited for Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the ring. I wish it was taking place at Survivor Series and not Crown Jewel, but it is what it is. Tony Storm is being wasted. King of the Ring stuff was good. I would have preferred Cesaro, but I get it. As long as Woods is the guy in the finals on the other side, nobody cares. Just make sure Woods is the guy on the finals on the other side. I'll give this episode a 6. That's my final verdict. Colin, what say you?
I'll go for like a 6.3. It was definitely below average.
The man, ladies and gentlemen, is so wholesome that this show gets 0.3 points of wholesomeness from Colin Tessier. I'm good with it. Colin, you're a saint. Hopefully next week is better.
I hope so. They're setting up to be good. Again, we got Brock Lesnar in the building, Sonya Deville returning to the ring, some interesting matchups in the semifinals of the Queen's Crown and King of the Ring tournament. So I think next week will be better. But yeah, we got Steven Chambers with a 6, DJ with a 4. DJ always one of our highest raters here, so that should let you know. Definitely a below average show here for SmackDown.
Speaking of, just so you know, Hit Row is coming to SmackDown. I dig that. I love him. I can't wait to see him have some good times.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that one. But
I understand that it's a little different for you. I get it. They're not doing the pop punk night. I understand. It's a different kind of open mic night. But I like Hit Row. They're all charismatic at the very least. Hopefully they can have some fun on Friday nights.
I bet they will. They had a little promo segment, like a hype video tonight. So kind of making me think that they might be, they might stay in the spotlight once they move to SmackDown. So I'm curious to see how SmackDown handles them. But Bit Milligan giving a show a 9 for tonight. So hey, if you enjoy it, more power to you.
Yeah, my God. Good for you, Bit Milligan. I'm glad you got to see something you enjoyed.
I mean, I like the King of the Ring matches, but again, just some of the things kind of underneath where it's like knowing Finn Balor just got destroyed at Extreme Rules, laughably so, Cesaro, and all those other things. Like the matches is always are good, and it's when you look a little deeper, and then with the women's matches, not so much. But again, hopefully next week will be better. Because this week definitely not up to the snuff for SmackDown. But we'll be here next week to talk about it. Otherwise, John Clark and I'll be here on Monday to talk about Raw. And you mentioned NXT a minute ago. We'll be talking about NXT and the last couple of weeks here on the former Black and Gold brand for Hit Row. And otherwise, we've got a great stream of interviews constantly coming at you guys. My interview with Matt Cardona went up today. I'm very happy about that. So make sure to check that out. I interviewed Moses and Khan and Soldiers of Savagery and Ring of Honor. That will be up this weekend. Otherwise, just many interviews, post shows, and more. Constantly coming to you guys on all of our platforms: SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, whatever it may be. We've got you covered. So, Robert, even today with a SmackDown that was not great. We try to do one thing.
We do, and before we do that one thing, we talk about how proud we are that Colin got to interview Matt Cardona. Great interview. Great time. I'm very happy for you to have that moment with the King of the Death match, with the longest reigning internet champion in history. And I think the sky's the limit for Matt Cardona and for you, Colin. And on top of that, we enjoy wrestling.
You're damn right, Robert. And with that, we thank you for listening, everybody. Have a good night.